name is Zoli Bukhale, based in Motake, born and bred in Motake, and I established my business in 2014, registered it in 2016. Reason I did it, couldn't find work. My passion was not food, really, man. I'm a salesperson, and I decided that I'm going to go into the food business because I needed money for my kid. That's when I started. I started selling at Times Cafe, and people were not happy with the food that I started selling. So I started doing gourmet burgers. And then from there on, I ventured into the food business full time, and I started attending social markets. And social markets, that's when I established my cocktail business because I used to work with a guy that we used to do cocktails and sell food. Then I decided, why not study this whole cocktail business and incorporate it into my business? That's when I started the cocktail business and put it into Bhut Zoli's kitchen. And yeah, I lost a whole lot of money doing markets, and that's it was a learning curve. Then I started making my own sauces, and I always had pop-out kitchens and stuff. We used to hold Sunday lunch with Bhut Zoli. I used to do it with Kagiso Mutun, and it was a success. Then COVID came. When COVID came, it nearly killed my business. So I had to think on my feet. That's when I started selling food on a full-time base. That's when I opened the kitchen when COVID started on a full-time base. So basically, I've never worked in my life. Azanga span, never, never, never. So I've been in the streets all my life. So doing this, it's like years or so. The passion just is not successful. So basically, if I had a 9 to 5, yes, I did quit business after 5 years, and I tried working for someone for a year. It was horrible. I'll never do it again. Hence, I'm still doing this because the drive is this is all I know. Then I had to study the food business. So now the food business is practically my life. So me being an entrepreneur, I've been doing it forever. Even Oskela, I used to sell these top sweets, tertiary when I was in school. I used to sell CDs. I've been selling all my life. So I've been doing something in the line of Opanda. It's just lately now formalizing into entrepreneurship and learning the game, mastering the craft, knowing you can't be a serial entrepreneur because you lose a whole lot of money. Yeah, but I've been doing this forever, and it's not easy, but that's all I know. Yeah. Biggest challenge in business. There are just too many. Environment, number one. Capital, working environment, not being a qualified chef, being criticized all the time. Location, just so many things are a challenge in business. But eventually, you sit down with yourself. These challenges, you create opportunities out of challenges. Like, I'm going to overcome these challenges. They're not going to be a stamping block over it. Like capital, I started my business with 45 rand, like practically 45 rand in 2014. So it was a challenge. Everything that I have now, I wanted it at 2014, but it was not going to happen. I had to work hard. So these challenges, they build you to be a better person. So challenges was equipment. Catering equipment is expensive. So you learn to use what you have. Clientele, people are always questioning your ability. But then while Bawamba question our ability, there's always those ones that are willing to support. So you should impress those ones that are willing to support your craft so you can gain more customers. So you can't have the whole portion of the market. That's when I realized that I will not, if I have 10 customers, I'm bound to lose 6, but I need to learn to retain that 4 so they can push and help me grow my business. So with every challenge that I have in business, I learn from it. Like with capital, I used to knock on investors' doors. Hey, can I get Mama 50K? I want to do that. It doesn't make sense. Sorry, I'm not interested. And I am quite glad and happy that it happened that no one invested in my business. Makes me happy because I learned to work with 45 rand to where I am now. And Not someone can come to me and said, I borrowed you 20,000. I invested 50,000 in the bank. I did it myself. So those challenges have paved a way for me that I've learned. So I know how to balance my own books. I know how to cook. So I'm not at the shop right now, but I know the runnings of it because of the challenges. The challenges have made me more stronger. So somewhere it's challenges, but it's lessons. And I take challenges as
Yeah.
lessons. Well, if you're going to skip that chapter of challenges, then if someone gave me 1 million 5 years back, I don't think I'll be still running this business. And I'm glad every investor that I went to and I said, my guy, I need 50,000. Can you pop in 50,000? And they refused. I'm glad they did because my value now, I don't think they can afford it because I know how hard you need to work in business. That's why I always tell people if you want to own a chicken farm, start selling eggs so you understand the whole business. Don't just go knock on doors and ask for millions. Learn the whole circle of the business. So challenges make you actually stronger. Without challenges in business, then I don't think you learn anything
Yeah.
on that. But a friend of mine, Jabul, attests to it. Where I started the 45 month. That night, I got stuff from home. I took a stove. I bought ox liver. People didn't like it. That's the next day. The profits that I made from that night, I sold gourmet burgers the next night. That's when I started getting catering jobs, little jobs. So that's when I started teaching myself that you have to reinvest in your business. So that's when it started. So it's 6 years into the business, if we calculate for what I have. So it took me forever, practically forever. So if I could get a catering job of 5,000 rand, I would pay myself 500 rand, and 4.5 will go back into the business to buy equipment, and 4.5 in the catering business maybe gets you one item or two items,
Yeah.
and they break, wear and tear. So
Just the knives. Just the knives.
yeah, maybe pizza A1 in 800 rand. Just one pot
Yeah.
is 800 bucks.
Mm,
So tafule, the governor's table, it's about
mm,
3.5 for one. So it took me forever to get there. Like
mm,
like my friends will tell you how long it took me to get where I am, and I'm not where I still want to be. I want a panel van for my business,
mm.
and it's something that I have to save up for. So
Yeah.
it took me a long time. In 6 years in the business, I still don't have a car or a buggy.
Mm.
I call my friends to help me out still, and people don't
I,
understand
I
that.
was.
Yeah, customer. Now, one thing that I've learned is I sat down and I asked myself, why KFC something mission gravy? And people complain
Mm.
about it. Then I
Yeah.
realized that's what we call consistency. 10 people
Thank you.
complain about the mission gravy, but 1,000 people love it. So KFC
Mm.
is not going to remove that mesh and gravy because they sell maybe over 1 million units of it all over the world.
Exactly.
So that's when I learned that remain consistent. So what I do is my marinade, I do it myself. My salad dressing, I do it myself. My chili, I do it myself. So I taught everybody in the kitchen. This is how we prepare the chicken. We wash it. We cut. This is how we cut it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. So prep, I taught them to print. So basically, I'm running a robot system. So if it changes out of my hands, I come back and I twitch it. That's how you retain the customers. I'm not at the shop right now, but the food is going to come out the way I'll take it out. That's what I learned from KFC and McDonald's. And you don't need to be there for operations to run. Constantly training, 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 training. Every second day I eat from the shop, I want to hear what has changed. If my chicken supply changes with chicken, first thing I do, I cook it and I taste it. Is it on par with the chicken I use? If the ribs, I change the texture of the ribs, I taste. Are we on par? Like I've realized with a certain sauce that I use, they're using more volume of water. And I asked them why. They said because of some taxes, and I could not understand the jargon. So I had to replace with something so the customers don't notice, but a little, it will be off a little. So consistency is very important to retain that market. So people should crave your food after 3 months, and when they come back, get the very same taste. That's how the big guys play. The food should remain the same. It won't be 100, but it would be at 99. Because some products is out of your control, but remain consistent. Like we're talking about now, if some and that and that and that and that, my head will be all over the place. But I'm concentrating on 7 items at the shop. We perfect it, we run with it all the time. Perfect it, run with it, perfect it, run with it. Every day we learn something new. People are like, outside the coleslaw, or green salad day. But for me, is I'm learning the different textures of lettuce, red onion, and that. So this is what I want, what brands we use in terms of what farmers we use. So retain that quality. You understand? So
Yeah.
that's the only way to retain customers. Taste should not change. Yes, it will change when you get a new employee, but it's a dodge. It should not run away. It should not be off. It should be that Bhut Zoli taste. That's what we're fighting for. Bhut Zoli taste. If KFC can have that taste, the seven secret herbs and what, why can't the Bhut Zoli have that? You need that as a Bhut Zoli. Like sometimes when I do deliveries and I get the smell of my food, and you know, that's a thrill. Like I get goosebumps. Boy, yes, I got it right. I'm the first guy to use herbs on chips, and you know how many times I was criticized. But I said it took me a year to study this herbs, and I'm get over study herbs and I'm with chipsy. I get to use a seasoner, I get to use a chip spice, I get to use a salt and vinegar, get over this lemon and herbs on chips, and that's going to be my signature till this brand, my daughter or my kids take it over. I want they should know this is a patent to the company. Chips with no herbs are stolen. That's how you retain. Some you have to be strict with your brand so you can keep your customers. You cannot never have 100% of the customer base. So if Mulebogang introduced me to 5 people, at least 2 should come back. You understand? Greediness should not be there. More businessing. Now retaining the market is just providing a quality service and giving them that Bhut Zoli taste every day, all day. It's fine. KFC's been tasting like this since Kennel died. Let it be like this. This is what we've been fighting for. Lots. Look, one thing that I'm loving about the generation now is we are not scared. If you can remember, Billy in the locations, it was kota, mogodu, steak and forso if we are lucky. But now you are getting kids are selling pizza, gourmet burgers, shawarmas, fried ice cream, and everything that you get in town. So we told them, so a lot has to change now. We must sit down as food people in one room and say we are not competing against each other here. We are working with. We are creating a system. For me to go open a shop in town is going to be very difficult because Nando's, KFC, and they already created an environment that fits them. So Rona, as new people in the food industry, we have to create an environment that Nando's has to fight to get into and play by our rules. So if we charge 15 rand delivery, let it be that way in what you call this industrial related prices. If catering yalo it's 3.5, let it be 3.5 in the industry related prices. In that way, it will change and we should never. I should not see Captain as my competition. I should see him as a business supporter. Or Cap, I can't do this. You go do this for me. Swagaspanice go do it. You understand? So we have a lot to learn from each other. We must sit in one room and discuss such things. Where, look, you're not my competition, and I'm not competing against you. So I've got a supplier that supplies 1, 2, 3, and here's his phone numbers. Go get them. Hey guys, let's get frozen chips in bulk together. so we can beat the system. We must create an environment that these white people, when they come momakasing, they must play ka melao ya rona. Because when we go to town and open shops, rent is expensive. You have to price according to their pricing, because if you don't do so, we're totally out of business. But mokasing, everybody's all over the show because we compete against each other. So the food business will change if we create a chain around it, a protector. This generation must change this game and create an environment that KFC and Nando's Harikena Mokasin, they want to sit down and see how do these people do this. They must learn from us, not us learning from them. They must play by our rules. That's why
Wow.
a lot must change. A lot must change. Corona sensory change. If we're not going to change it, we'll forever be afraid or KFC can more cars, Debonair's can more cars, Steers City, McDonald's yet. But if the environment is like that, McDonald's should be afraid to open the food shops in the locations because of the game is difficult in the location. And how does the game become difficult? By us providing quality service, consistency, proper customer service, quality food, uh, taking care of customers, you know, just giving people what they want in a proper manner, pricing arena in a proper, and branding ourselves. Kore, treat your business as work. I'm going to work. You know, it's a fair. We must stop running food business get a panda. Ke rekisa plate-nyana tse 10 ka kwala, ke ikela go inela tse pedinyana ka no. In them mosebetsi, balance your books, staff, have staff meetings. Guys, re paisa kae? Where are we? Because it can never be perfect. You need such things. So McDonald's can mokas, we should not be scared. McDonald's should be scared of why can mokas. But now they can do as they please because there is no boundaries. We are all over the show because we're competing against each other. How about 10 of us are going to close down business because we cannot keep up with McDonald's these years, later one years, because but like that's 100. Now we don't have them. But if we created an environment where these guys have to compete with us, give it really easy for us. So this generation, we have to change a lot in terms of rebuilding that thing. These guys must play by our rules, and it's simple. It's simple. Just remain consistent and provide a quality service. Another culture that I've created in my work environment is customer service is key. We feed people what would eat. We retain a smile at all time. We leave our problems at the gate when we enter the workplace, and we carry this brand here with pride. Or this Bhut Zoli here, we carry it with pride. So it's not about me anymore. It's not about us. It's about the people. So it's a culture of giving people what they wouldn't think they'll get in the hood mokas. So you serve with pride. You stand tall. You respect every single customer every day. Kore, the meal that went out the first, the last person to get the meal should receive the very same service as the guy who created the first meal. If my best friend orders food, should not get preferential treatment, should get the very same treatment as everybody else. So everybody should be equal. That's why I don't have a target market. I won't say my target market is high school kids, woman. It's because of that
Mm.
culture that I've built around Hore. We treat everybody equal. If I order food and I'm not working, I'm gonna get the very same 15 minutes wait. Delivery will come to you in 30 minutes. It's it. A gona go, "Hey, ke Zulu o dirile dijo, let's push it." No, 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 no. It does not change. Ke system, se se place yalo. So the culture is let's create an environment that no one should feel left out. Yeah, I was telling my friends and my girl that I want to have 8 shops. 8 shops. My vision is it's a backyard restaurant, serving
Yeah.
drinks, serving cocktails, nice environment, laid back, chilled music at the back. I want to have 5 of them in the next
Mm.
5 years. 5 of them and in different locations. And employing almost 50 people or to
Mm.
100. And having a warehouse where everything that I do distributing to that 5. That's a vision where I see my place in the next 5 years. I want
Yeah.
to have 5 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say "Ke tshogile," it's not gonna happen. Le ka ba ntshwara ka pelo, ba tshware ka pelo, but it won't happen. I'm on it. Modimo,
Mm.
badimo, and prayer and hard work and dedication and determination is gonna make me get there. Because I'm not sleeping
Yeah.
on this. The last time I had fun, I don't know when was it. I'm forever waking and my eyes are tired. I'm tired, but
Mm.
I'm pushing. I'm pushing every day. So I want to grow into this. I'm not comfortable where I am right now. I am not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. I want to see a second shop in 2 years. Then in 3 years' time, at least 4. And when 5 comes, every seven it's a 5. Running, getting manager, and in a creative side, creative director, finance department, a graphic department side, where I get to listen to people, give me input, or we should add this on the menu. Graphics should be working like this because I'm not getting any younger, I'm getting old. And we need fresh minds. So with my direction and say, no, 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 that won't work because I've been doing this. But rebuild it, go sit down. So in a round table, 5 years, I want to sit in a round table with a team of creatives, building Bhut Zoli to a greater height.
Thank you so much. You guys are so amazing. Like honestly, it's, like I feel like now. You know what came to mind? You know what came to mind? The pricing strategy thing. What do you guys think of people who say the price is already expensive? I cannot afford this and all and that. How do you guys handle that?
Go
It's
buy
not
KFC.
easy. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
easy
I
in
tell
the
you, go
food
buy
business.
KFC.
Like what will tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy,
Yeah.
Modijo. Like, look,
Mm.
Honanung prices of potatoes are up
Mm.
to some stupid reason that we don't know. Farmers ba re bolelela gore shortage of what. So potato prices are up.
Mm.
I can up my prices because of potato prices. I have to suck
Mm.
it in that price. But when the time comes for me to increase the price, people complain. But throughout, I suck in prices that tamati, potato, oil. Oil was just up. Sunflower farmers were telling us there's a lack of sunflower. We can't have sunflower oil. We were out of palm oil because foreign countries need to rake up palm oil like crazy. So there's always something in the food industry, any supply, the rikawatankayo. When it comes to chicken, they are telling us they have a problem of supply of chicken. They can't supply us with fresh birds because
I
dude,
remember that one.
the beers, there's about 1,000 of chicken farms when you pass there, but Bangladesh,
Yeah.
they are out of fresh birds. They don't have fresh birds.
Mm.
So there's always excuse in the food business, but we suck up those prices for our customers.
Yeah.
I'll suck these prices up, but when my turn comes, we can increase it.
Mm.
Understand where I come from because it's a grocery kontlung. A loaf of
Mm.
bread is maybe 20 rand, if I'm not mistaken. Our bunny doesn't even send you a notice when it's about to up. They
I
just
know.
give you a tray.
No.
It's either you take it or leave it.
Mm.
Coca-Cola kamoso kene ke 9 rand, the next day ke 14 rand. It's either take it or
Mm.
leave it. But if I do
Yeah.
that, consumption you. A some supporter zo. A sa reka next.
Mm.
Zoli wa
Yeah.
tlhag. O batla go nna rich ka matla a rona. And it's not that,
Mm.
Mm.
they will say a great chef once said in the food industry if you wanna be rich you have to work 24 hours. So this
Yeah. You
business
never sleep.
you
Yeah.
never sleep. So for me to drive a Lamborghini I must have 100 of what I'm doing. So people,
Yeah.
yeah, but people make you feel guilty of what you're doing. When
Mm.
about on rich not really. Not really. Tomorrow when I get to the food to the vegetable market, red onion is up. The ones that they had did not have alkali. Huh? They had to throw away the ones. Why am I paying for the alkali? And that's what Piggy is. Your food has a red onion. You have to buy it. You can't come back to the
Hey
customer. Oh,
man.
sorry,
Yo.
because of alkali. You understand? It's the things that
Mm.
we get to hear every day. Last time I had an
Yeah.
increase on pork ribs because COVID, the Kolobe ne di tshwere ke some pork and what.
Mm.
So there's a short supply of pork. Pork went up. So you're always hearing stories every day. With packaging,
Yeah.
they have a problem with malting. They can't malt the thing, so prices went up of packaging. Plastic went up because of they don't have budget anymore. They've got quality. So There's always a story in the food business. When you wake up, there's a story. But you suck it in because it's a business. And people say you must work, incorporate it into your prices. You lying car. Let's go work. You'll understand. You can't incorporate something and they decide to do it. They do it. And you can't. They're the food suppliers.
Yeah.
They run the food production. And without them, we are nothing. I can't decide and come tell my clients, sorry, man, get some more chicken. Because at some point, go COVID, but when they were struggling because no such slaughtering. So there was no more. Understand, the food business, there's always something that's happening.
You need to adapt at every corner. And
I
now
know
you get what I said when I said.
The thing is, people don't know the backside of what's going on. We just want the food.
Yeah.
And honestly, you can't always tell people about that. Then you are looking for sympathy. You can't. Business, you can't be looking for sympathy. Just adapt or die. Adapt or die. Yeah. So the big thing is just adapt.
My thing is, it's also important, like having this platform, it gives us an enlightenment. This is what happens. Now I understand better where you're coming from when you say, I'm increasing this. Even though I can see why, but now I know. So it's not a matter of I'm sympathizing. I have more understanding, and my decisions on buying your stuff are more informative, and I'm coming from a place of information, not saying, hey, what you Bhut Zoli, nah, hey, okay, like you know the food about, you know what I mean?
It's sad. If maybe pork, maybe they will attest to it. Pork, lamb, they're not far apart now. At kilo price.
Yeah.
And Billy lamb was more expensive. Maybe 10 rand difference. It shows you how tricky is the food business. It's not controlled by butchers. It's not controlled by. It's controlled by the guys at the top. And monopoly, like if you wanna know what monopoly is, come in the food business. It's monopoly. You can't run away from it. Ohopole mayonnaise needs oil. So when oil goes up, it affects the mayo price. If tomato goes up, it affects the tomato sauce. The ketchup, the customer wants.
oil. What's the base of mayo? Eggs.
Eggs. So we don't have chickens. We don't have chickens. We don't have chickens. We have a short supply of mayonnaise. We have a short supply of mayonnaise. Price rocket. So it's like.
So if I come back and go like, guys, I'm reselling now my mayo at this price because we're talking about oil. Oil is huge. Oil is global. Eggs are global. Chickens are global. So we need to understand that the chicken ever you buy, because my dad works for an egg farm that grows the eggs. You know the white eggs for the chicks.
Yes.
My dad works for that farm in Rusty-Venter, and that's a global company. And I sit down with him and I ask him like, and he'll tell you, they're not producing. They are not healthy enough to produce. And at the moment when they're not healthy enough, they have to remove them from the production line. They remove them from the production line. They need to grow new chicks. And that takes about 3 more months before they start laying eggs for chicks so that we can now get to a point where we produce this. We sit down with sunflower. How long have we had drought? South Africa alone. We're not even talking about the other areas. So when you get to that point, I'd like to say to people is that if you want to get into any type of business, if you want to start something like we said, get up now, dress up and get out there and show up for this. As you get up, it's called researching. As you dress up, it's called giving yourself knowledge. Coming to webinars like this, going and sitting down. Like TikTok, it's not going to work for you to be like I said, you are what you see, what you read, what you do. Right now we do our videos because we're done. We're done with the whole thing of doing that. I'm not saying that I'm perfect at business right now, but I'm learning from Zoli now. And I'm reiterating what he's saying because I feel the same way, So get yourself into a position where you're going to learn. Get to yourself. You need to open your own school to teach your kitchen staff so you can be able to open more branches. You'll also be able to complete a first skill prize on McD's and KFC. That's another, to open the school is another financial implication. Is it going to work? But is him doing this, coming and doing this talks? Let's say, for instance, is it a free platform to come through? Yes, it is. What if we say give us 10 rands for us to be speakers? You know what I mean? Let us buy tickets. Just the donation of some sort, because this is actually an educational system now where we are educating and also learning ourselves. I'd like to say more for the next 5 lives that you're going to host a business. I'd like to buy a ticket to be a guest speaker.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Because
buy a
nobody
ticket.
wants to
I'd like to
see.
buy. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah,
I
it
used to tell
is. It
people,
is.
Kere, she needs to buy data or she needs to pay for the Wi-Fi. She needs to buy a new laptop now. She needs to buy a new lighting
Yeah.
system. She needs to buy a new mic, all of those things. She's doing this passionately because she wants to grow the local
Into the
industry,
business.
Kokasi.
Yes.
So as she transforms herself and evolves herself in how she needs, we need to supply that. So tomorrow when she comes and says, Lebo, for you to be a guest speaker, you need to do this much. Okay, cool. That's fine because I know I'm gonna learn and I know I'm gonna teach somebody, and I also know how one day we're gonna do that. So the next event that Rebuele and he wants to have that is that I need to have access to it. He needs to have access to that network for our funnel. The channel, he's go like, okay, fine. What is the vendors thing? Because go for his market, you pay to be a vendor there. You don't just arrive and then put up your own thing. So as Kasi minded people, we need to go like, I need to get to a point where I'm gonna do marketing but also sell. I need to get to a market where I'm going to do, market and sales is very important. So from my side, I'd say, let's start charging R1 per session.
Me,
It's your
all I'm
network, we
going,
understand, but let's charge
me,
R1 for a session.
all I'm going to say is, business is not easy. The food business is not easy. You work with emotions. Today I woke
Mm.
up, ke kgaletse mageu. So when I was
Oh,
prepping at the kitchen, ke nwa mageu. So
mm.
you will never make everybody happy.
True.
And people will hate you for doing a
Mm.
good thing, and they'll come back complaining,
Yeah.
oh, Zolu not feeling nonsense. And it will hurt you. But when you sit down and with the years in the game, you'll understand. But nah, man, that guy maybe was not right today. He didn't wake up right. He was forced to eat what I cooked because now it's machita, and then he did not want it. So his anger came into the food. So sometimes
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got to take those things.
Remember the food is the key to the soul. And you need to understand the soul. Not the person, not the
The soul.
environment, the soul that you're feeding. So if the soul is not okay, so create an environment that is going to chill the soul and bring the ambience of your place into that soul so that the food supports that soul.
Yeah.
That's a very important part that you just mentioned. Like talk business from a soulful point of view.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guys,
Thanks.
All right, cool.
I
That's my
I
2 hour
have
mark.
taken, yeah, I've taken so much of your time. Thank you guys for honoring my invite. It was such a pleasure having you guys.
Like our
And
son
thank you
Okay.
to the
says, "Retapatela
people.
seat. We'll pay for the seat. I will
Thanks,
pay.
Yeah, I'm
guys.
still
Sorry, I will
growing.
pay
I'm
for the
still
seat.
growing.
Yeah.
I'm still growing. I'm just building. I have a 1 year plan, to build my customer, my viewers, and to build my content, and get it
Yeah.
right. Then I'll introduce you paying tickets, and you know what I mean. I'm
No,
getting
No,
thanks.
there,
I feel
getting
you.
there.
I feel you. No,
All the best,
Bona,
guys.
Bona, for to
Thank you
support
so
that,
much.
if you need me to just go yada 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 about anything, I'm there.
I know, I know,
Yeah.
I know you are that
Abu
person.
Zoli,
Thank you, brothers. Chap chap.
yeah. I think I tagged you on Instagram.
Okay, no problem. No,
Yeah.
thank you. We'll
So
get in
just
touch.
just call in the number. Or she'll give you my number, and we'll talk more. And then yeah, I would like to see you next week if you are able to do so.
No
And
problem.
yeah, bring the stuff. Bring the stuff.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
Thank
Mulesh, thank you
you.
Sure,
so
bro.
much, guys. Have a
Cool.
great